In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this countdown timer using Final Cut Pro that has a simple zoom effect for your use in live streams, specifically Ecamm Live. All right, let's dig into Final Cut Pro. First off, create your project. In my case, it's a 4K project set to 24 frames a second. Keep it as large as you want, even with a HD stream. This will resize and the quality will be good. So what we need to do is find a couple of images first. Now I use Midjourney to create my images. I've got two here as a couple of examples. I've got background one. I love a bit of retro, cyberpunk, that type of stuff. You can get your images from wherever, as long as they are obviously legal. I use Midjourney to generate mine. I've got a couple here. We'll start with this one first of all. So the idea is to create all the countdown timer and everything within Final Cut Pro, export it as a video. That video will have a little zoom feature in it to make it look like there's some animation at least on the countdown timer to make it look less boring, because I normally have static countdown timers with just a clock ticking. Doesn't look very good. So in this case, we're going to create the one that you saw at the beginning of the video where it slowly starts to zoom in, which I think it looks pretty nice. So let's start off by dragging our background into the timeline. Now, depending on how long you want your countdown timer to be, I typically do 2 minutes. So we're going to change this to this duration of this particular file to be exactly 2 minutes. To do that, you just hit Control and D, and that will change the duration. At the moment it's set to 10, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be 2 minutes. Hit Return, and now you have your background image set to exactly 2 minutes. Now we want to add a clock, first of all, into this. Now there's no countdown timer per se in Final Cut Pro, so you have to use a generator within Final Cut, and that will be a timecode generator. So we'll go into our generators up here and we'll search for timecode. This is a standard one that is in Final Cut, and this is what it looks like. Terribly exciting, I know. But what we need to do with this, first of all, is basically choose our font, get it sized accordingly, and then also make sure the duration is correct. So we'll do the same thing as we did with the previous file below. We're going to hit Control D and change the duration to 2 minutes. So everything is the same. So now we've got both our file below, which is our background, and our countdown timer, both set to 2 minutes. Before we place our countdown timer in the center of this monitor, because that's where I want it to be, we're going to remove the background of the monitor. Obviously this was generated by Midjourney, and we want to remove this part to make it black, so I can put my countdown timer on there so it looks like the countdown timer is actually within the monitor. So how do we do that? First off, let's zoom in to about 100% so we get a good size of the monitor, and we're going to simply add a draw mask around this to remove the background. There's a couple of ways of doing it, but this is the easiest. So we go to our effects, type in mask, and then we will get the draw mask and drag it onto our background. And then as you'll see, my mouse has now changed into this little pen tool, and the pen tool allows you to draw an area where you want to mask out. You don't have to be 100% fantastic at this. But basically, there you go. So as soon as you join the dots, it will create a mask for you. You can adjust this mask a little bit by pinching the corner little points here to get this 100%. It doesn't have to be fantastic. And now we want to invert the mask because we want the background and not the bit that we've just cut out. We'll do that. Let's click down here just to make sure there's no fringing or anything. That looks very clean to me. You can, if you want, if you do get some fringing around the edge where you've masked out, to adjust the feather and fall off, but for me, it looks fine. So let's zoom back to full size. Okay, so we've got the background with the monitor piece cut out. One thing I will say before we start to adjust the countdown timer is that you need to have a fixed width font for your countdown timer. You don't want these numbers jumping around. If you choose something like, I don't know, one of my favorites is Bangers. So let's find the Bangers font. Watch what happens when you start to move around. The font is actually, you see, the 7 and the 6, they jump around. You don't want that because we're going to actually cut out this countdown timer with another mask. And if the font is jumping around, it's going to look really messy. So let's just pick something that doesn't jump around, a fixed width font. You can see them in the font book within the Apple font book application, which will tell you which are fixed width fonts, ones that are best to use. Let's go back to the one that it picked before, which is Geneva. And as you can see, if I move around, it's rock solid. So let's take our countdown timer and put it where we want, like that. Now, because this is a generator, there's a few things you can't do with it, like put masks on and change the timing, because we want obviously it to be a countdown timer and not to count up. So let's make this a compound clip, and that will help with that. So right click, new compound clip, and we'll just call it timer. Now that timer generator behaves as a clip, or a normal behavior as a clip if you would bring it into Final Cut. So now you can do lots of things with it, resizing, add masks, and so on. So let's do the transform tool, and let's get it where we want, and we'll make it a little bit bigger, like that. I think I'll just have mine around here. Remember, we're going to mask this off, so it's going to be quite big anyway. Let's just add it to there. Okay. Now we're going to add a mask, another draw mask to it. Let's just select done. And now we've got a mask, and we're going to mask out the main part. So I'm going to probably just cut this bit here. Like that. So now you can see it's masked out. We'll use the transform tool to put it in the right place. So we have this here. We've made sure it works. We can also add now some other text. You can actually change the color of this. Before you make it a compound clip, you just go into the timer settings in the inspector and change the color. But for now, I'll just leave it white because it's fine. Now I'm just going to find a title, and I'll just do a basic title, which is here. I'm going to add this to the timeline, make it the full duration, and then I'm going to grab my title, I'm going to move it around. I'm just going to call this starting in, and you can have whatever font you want here for the title. I'm going to choose my favorite, which is Bangers. I can make it a little bit bigger, increasing the size, and then move it where we want. Super duper. Now, you'll see that the countdown timer is counting up and not counting down. So let's reverse that. We click on the timer overlay that we've got here. Remember, it's a compound clip. We can do what we want to it now. Go to the retiming menu and do reverse clip. Now, it starts off at 2 minutes and works it all the way down to 0. Lovely jubbly. So now we've got that how we want, and that's a standard countdown timer. As I said at the beginning of the video, I now want this to zoom in. And we do simple keyframing for that, but in order for the whole thing to zoom in, that includes the timer, the title, and the background, I'm going to make the whole thing a compound clip. So do Control A to select all, right click anywhere, and we'll do a new compound clip. And we'll just call this Count All. Now we can do what we want with this. We can pan and zoom and all kinds of stuff, but I'm just going to create a simple zoom effect. So we go right to the beginning of our timeline, and let's go to scale and hit this little keyframe button here. And we're going to scale all. All right. And then we'll go to the end of the clip. If we press the down arrow on our keyboard, that'll get us to the end of the clip. And then we'll just scale this to what we want. I'm going to scale it to there, for example. As you can see, this is 205%, and now this has scaled it using the keyframing. So if I move my timeline back and forth and hit play, you can see that now it is slowly zooming in. Now it's a personal choice. You can make this zoom in quicker over the 2 minutes. You can make a very slow pan, but it's whatever you want to do. Now, the next step is really simple. You just export this as a video file, and you can bring then this into Ecamm as an animated overlay. And I'll show you how to do that in a second, but it's pretty straightforward. You will need, with an animated overlay, a actual countdown timer that's hidden within Ecamm if you want it to go to the next scene. But that's pretty straightforward to do. So as you can see, it's zooming in very nicely. So I have one more example for you where we have a different perspective within the background, and I'll just show you how to manipulate the clock, timer, countdown, and the images to make it look a bit better. Well, hopefully. Let's see. So here we are back in Final Cut Pro. I've already done a lot of the work that we did in the last example. So we've got the background, we've got the timer, we've changed the timer's color, and we've done the masking, and we've reversed it. So it's counting down, and then we've got a bit of text with my favorite font. And now what we're going to do is try and get this text to display in the right constraints so it has the right perspective within the image. So you do this by selecting the distort tool in Final Cut Pro. So let's do the countdown timer first. So we click on the countdown timer layer and we hit the distort, which is down here. And what we're going to do is try and get this aligned so it looks like it's going to sit within the monitor's perspective. So let me see if I can do that real quick. Now, you can obviously spend more time finessing this than I will, but if we put it there like that, that doesn't look too terrible on the first pass. That's okay for now. So let's do that, and then we'll do the same for the text. So we hit the text layer, hit the distort, and then we're going to bring this to look more like, all I'm trying to do is line the perspective up here with the alignment of the monitor. So it's not an exact science by any stretch. You just have to eyeball it. Something like that. And then we can move it into here. Probably needs to be changed a little bit. Maybe it goes up. It needs to be a bit more like that. Okay, you get the idea. So we'll click done on this one. So you can see now that it doesn't look terrible. I mean, and then you can apply the same process. So Control A to select all. We'll create a new compound clip. Timer all. And then we'll do exactly the same. You could also actually do a bit of panning at the same time. I can show you how to do that real quick. So we'll have the scale all keyframe enabled here, just as before. And we'll go to the end by pressing down arrow, which is to the next clip. Click on the scale and we'll scale it up. But what you might also want to do is move it so, you know, the main monitor and things get into perspective or centered on the frame. So as we've zoomed in here around 180%, we can go back to this button, which is the transform tool. Let's just click this and drag this around. Why is it not letting me do that? I need to be in this. So let's drag that around a little bit. And that's going to change keyframes again. So let's take a look. So what we might want to do here is start off at a different scale and point here. And then as it scales, basically gets to that point there. Again, a personal choice. You can manipulate and scale this around as much as you want. I would sort of zoom out a little bit so you can see where the boundaries are. So when you start off at the beginning, you might need to zoom in a little bit more so you get at least some, so you don't get any black bars and you get the image covering the full part of the screen. And then the last bit here, we might want it to end, let's say, down there. So it's doing, and you can see here the movement. So it's doing, you know, a little pan and a zoom and a whatever, but you won't notice it as it's zooming in over the 2 minutes because it's going to be much more subtle. So if we just play here, you can see that it's sort of panning to the left while it's also zooming in. You can do whatever you want with keyframing to make it look nice, but let's just export this as a video now and just bring it in as an overlay into Ecamm Live, and I'll show you how to quickly add that. All right, so here we are in Ecamm Live, and we're now going to add the video overlay that we've exported from Final Cut Pro into a new scene, and then add a countdown timer as a hidden background, so it will enable us to go to the next scene once the countdown is finished. And for Final Cut Pro export, I've chosen just 4K Apple devices, but you can choose high efficiency video codec export if you want. I just wanted to make sure that's in 4K so I get the best resolution. So let's just add this now and create a new scene in Ecamm. Let's go to new scenes, and we'll just switch the music off and we'll call it countdown. All right. I'm going to remove myself from here. Well, I'll just keep that for a second. And then in the overlays down here, we're going to add this video as an overlay. And it gives us a choice. We can either play full screen with audio. I don't want to do that. I actually want to create an animated overlay. So I'm going to do that. And then we can resize it to make sure it fits within the aspect ratio of mine. And as you can see, it's already running in the background and started to play. Now, there's a couple of options here. What I want to do is autoplay. I want to always start from the beginning, and when finished, do nothing. Now, for this scene to then automatically go to the next one, you need to add a countdown timer built into Ecamm and tell it to go to the next scene. So it's super easy to do that. Let's create this countdown timer here. We'll make it the same duration, which is 2 minutes. And then what I want it to do is auto start and go to the next scene when finished. So we'll do that and add it. Now, we obviously don't want to see both timers because obviously as you flip between, they should start at the same time, which they do. Great. So all we need to do is come down to our overlays, move the countdown timer to underneath the video that we've exported and playing, lock them both, and you are good to go. So this is now zooming in as part of the video that you've created. It's counting down in real time, and the background timer that's also running within Ecamm under here is also counting down, and that will then give you your automated go to next scene once it's finished. Super simple. So there you have it. Quite a simple workflow using Final Cut Pro to create a nice video overlay for your countdown timers to add a little bit of animation and zoom in there. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.